Numbers flash like a fever dream. Charts align like stars in space. Fingers twitch, it's a digital race. Trade the dots, connect the line, profits calling, it's my time. Precision moves, shopping clean, living life on this money machine. Scalping seconds, slice and fast. Ride the wave, don't let it pass. Green and red, they set the tone. Win or lose, I'm in the zone. Trade the dots, connect the line, profits calling, it's my time. Precision moves, shopping clean, living life on this money machine. I'm feeling proud. Risk and thrill, it's all the same. One more trade to up my game. Pivots turn, I'm locked and sure. Cut the losses, keep it pure. Every trend I see the clues. I'll ride the highs and dodge the blues. Screen numbers flash like a fever dream. Charts align like stars in space. Fingers twitch, it's a digital race. Trade the dots, connect the line, profits calling, it's my time. Precision moves, shopping clean, living life on this money machine. Machine. Every tick's a heartbeat loud. High stakes play, I'm feeling proud. Risk and thrill, it's all the same. One more trade to up my game. Pivots turn, I'm locked and sure. Cut the losses, keep it pure. Every trend I see the clues. I'll ride the highs and dodge the blues. Pivots turn, I'm locked and sure. Screen numbers flash like a fever dream. Charts align like stars in space. Fingers twitch, it's a digital race. Trade the dots, connect the line, profits calling, it's my time. Precision moves, shopping clean, living life on this money machine.
Testing, testing, testing. How about the mic now? Testing, testing, testing. How about now? You guys hear it? How about now? Yes, no? You guys hear me? All good? All right, all right, all right. Yeah, it was just on the wrong mic. I was just on the wrong mic. Okay, no worries. So everybody hears me. Sound is good. We're ready to rock and roll. All right, all right, all right, all right. No problem. I had the screen muted. All right. So what's the game plan today? Game plan for the Fed is very, very simple. Small size, and precise. We're going to trade. I'm just trading 1 micro as our starting position. That's it. I traded 5s, which is my starting position, all the way until Fed. And now we have the Fed. Now we're just going to trade 1 for a whole bunch of reasons. 1, because it's always more volatility than you need. 2, because, honestly, who needs the aggravation if it gets a little crazy? And 3, this is going to give you guys a chance to see if we get volatility, how I'm going to be able to repair it with relative ease. So anyways, I took a few pops right before we started. As you guys can see over here, we'll do the same thing. We'll get a little bit more aggressive on the S&P, just because it's the S&P. Who cares? So here's the S&P. Missed this trade over here on wealth charts. I'll wait for the next one. I'll wait for the next setup. Let's see if Jerome is starting to speak here. Is he speaking? Yeah. Okay. So you guys don't hear him. Give me a second. I'm going to share the audio with him. Okay.
Labor market are broadly.
Okay. Let me know if you guys hear him talking.
With maximum employment. Inflation has eased significantly from its highs in mid-2022, but remains somewhat elevated relative to our 2% longer run goal.
You guys hear him talking? Give me a thumbs up.
On the consumer price index and other data indicate that total PCE prices rose 2.5% over the 12 months ending
Let's all not try to fall asleep.
And that, excluding the volatile food and energy categories, core PCE prices rose 2.7%. These readings are little changed from the beginning of the year, although the underlying composition of price changes has shifted. Services inflation has continued to ease, while increased tariffs are pushing up prices in some categories of goods. Near-term measures of inflation expectations have moved up on balance over the course of this year on news about tariffs, as reflected in both market-based and survey-based measures. Beyond the next year or so, however, most measures of longer-term expectations remain consistent with our 2% inflation goal. Our monetary policy actions are guided by our dual mandate to promote maximum employment and stable prices for the American people. At today's meeting, the committee decided to maintain the target range for the federal funds rate at 4.25% to 4.5%, and to continue reducing the size of our.
There were 2 descents. First time since 1993, there were 2 descents.
The appropriate stance of monetary policy based on the incoming data, the evolving outlook, and the balance of risks. Changes to government policies continue to evolve, and their effects on the economy remain uncertain. Higher tariffs have begun to show through more clearly to prices of some goods, but their overall effects on economic activity and inflation remain to be seen. A reasonable base case is that the effects on inflation could be short-lived, reflecting a one-time shift in the price level. But it is also possible that the inflationary effects could instead be more persistent, and that is a risk to be assessed and managed. Our obligation is to keep longer-term inflation expectations well anchored and to prevent a one-time increase in the price level from becoming an ongoing inflation problem. For the time being, we're well positioned to learn more about the likely course of the economy and the evolving balance of risks before adjusting our policy stance. We see our current policy stance as appropriate to guard against inflation risks. We're also attentive to risks on the employment side of our mandate. In coming months, we will receive a good amount of data that will help inform our assessment of the balance of risks and the appropriate setting of the federal funds rate. At this meeting, the committee continued its discussions as part of our 5-year review of our monetary policy framework. We focused on potential revisions to our statement on longer run goals and monetary policy strategy, and are on track to wrap up any
All right, I'm going to
modifications
mute him.
by late summer.
I'm going to mute him, and we're going to stop sharing this tab. We're going to start sharing. Let me know if you guys see this. Hold on a second. No, you don't. I have to share the whole screen. I'll tell you why we're going to share the screen. We're going to go long here. Oops, I'm a little bit late. Shit, I'm late on the trade. It's basically a pretty bullish statement from the Fed. He's kind of like, yeah, we're starting to see a little bit of weakness. We're mindful of the weakness, blah, blah, blah. He doesn't want to cave to Trump, but at the same time, I think they're preparing the market either for September or maybe November cut. So the market is reacting relatively positive. I should have. I'm late on this trade. That's why I'm trading one, because I'm yapping and talking and going to be missing trades as I go. Hopefully, we'll see if I can hit the target here. It's 90.25 on a target. Big breakout trade over here. You can see I'm going to get rid of all the executions. Oh shit! I got stopped out. Okay, never mind. I got stopped out on this trade because we retraced out. But this was. Big candle trade. This is typical of the Fed. Big move up, big move down. Prepare for whipsaw action. This is why we're trading one micro, so that it doesn't really affect my P&L much. And how now that I got stopped out, we're gonna go first. Rule number one, to the next account. Right, just gonna go to the next account because I don't want to pollute this account with any more losses. And we'll trade the next setup. Same way, one micro. Then if we get an additional buy signal in 5-10 minutes, we'll go to the original account and try to repair the trade. That's what we're going to do. Yeah, NFP and FOMC are the same week. That's right, Kevin. That's right. Totally the same way. Totally the same way. Okay, so we're dicking around because he's going to be flapping his gums, pretty much saying nothing, because I don't think they really want to commit to one direction or the next. Right now, from our perspective, positive bid, positive slope, negative momentum. So typical Fed move, up, down, big yank job. I took winning trades here, winning trades there. The third trade, I wonder if it would have worked if I got good execution. It was 85. No, I would have probably missed the. It was quite a big move, so really not much of a selection on the execution part here. My indicators are not free, my friend. My indicators are available. If you want to join me, right over here. Here's the join link. You can join me. You get the indicators. You get the coaching. You get everything from our community. Very good deal. Plus, I'm going to buy you some Apex accounts to get you started. So it'll definitely be worth your time. All right. No setup because we have a red dot here, red dot here. It appears to be kind of changing. You guys probably can't hear if I tell me if you guys. Steve was asking about the tariff rates. Do you guys hear him at all, or you don't hear the volume because I don't have the volume on? Yeah. So he's basically saying, trade has kind of been very dynamic. They don't have a judgment of how much the tariffs are having an impact on this. I wonder if we can do. Hang on a second. Let's see if we can go to YouTube. And I wonder if we can watch this on. I wonder if they have closing captions. Yeah. See, they do have closing captions. So we can watch the closing captions here. So we'll watch that. Level of tariffs that much at this, blah, blah, blah. Is at the moment, same time, there are many points, but uncertainties left to resolve. So yes, we're learning, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't feel like we're very close. That's not for us to judge. Does it feel like there's not much to come, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Starting to sell off a little bit because he's digging in his heels that he doesn't really want to cut rates. He still thinks that there's an inflationary pressure here. So we'll watch the price action. Market's kind of turning a little bit negative. Let's see how S&P, same kind of a story. Everybody's going to follow everybody else in tandem. So we wait patiently until we get our setup. We got no setups. We wait very patiently. What we're looking for, our setup has 3 components plus 1. Components are red slope, red candle, red dot. Prior candle to the current candle cannot have a dot. If that's the situation, that means we have momentum down or momentum up, and then we trade that. Right now, we just have like cascading momentum. The only reason we don't trade this is because there's always a risk of selling the bottom here. That's it. That's just basically it. It's not like this is not a good setup. It's just not the perfect setup, and we just wait perfectly for the perfect setup. We just wait for the best setup possible. I'm still doing 1664 in NQ, baby. Always 1664. Absolutely. 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 All right, let's see what he's saying. As well as looking ahead, chairman of Axios. What is it? Let me put them in. So somebody's asking about the final demand numbers, which is like a measure of GDP of basically how much we spent, and that was much lower than last year. It was only about 1% of GDP versus 2% of GDP. He goes, yeah, that's true. People are not spending as much. The guy asked him, should we lower rates as a result of this? And he said, nah, because employment is still pretty strong. Honestly, just one bullshit argument after the next. But it is what we got to do, to wait to see what he says. The bigger question is, it doesn't feel like he wants to change tact in September. So the labor market is solid. That means no cuts. So he's looking at employment rate. He doesn't really even care about the payroll numbers. So that is actually the first dovish statement. He said that he's going to be watching downside risks on the employment data. They're asking about the 2 dissents. All right. I wish I could take this trade, but it's not a trade because we have a green dot underneath and a green dot over here, so not a setup for me. Although we have one tiny contract, we can take it. Let's see if this works, but not a setup. Eh. Target is 65. Really, I really shouldn't be doing this. I'm just pulling trades that are not a setup. It's fucking idiotic. That's why I'm trading just one lot. The Fed always takes, makes you always not forces you, but entices you to make stupid trades. Like this was not a setup because again, we had the momentum from the bottom. If we had no momentum, it would have been fine. Now, on the other hand, this actually, if this stays red, is a legitimate trade because of a red to green reversal. That's a legitimate trade. So if that happens, we'll stay in this trade. Guys asking if there's a lag in tariff costs. Is he really concerned about that? I'm waiting to see if the dot holds. The slope is negative, candle is negative, dot is negative. Got to have it hold. It's so far not holding. So that was a trade. And that was a trade. You see how fast that was? Boom, boom, in, out. Let me show you. Let me show you the execution. All right. So here I did a kind of a stupid single trade, right? Got stopped out, reversed 41, bought right back. Bought right back over here. Nice clean trade. Made it all back. All right, let's see where we're at. 146 on this one. They're both at 50 when we started yesterday. This not this one. Sorry, I want to go to 20. This one is at 200. We're going to try see if we can run both of them above 200 right now. But again, just trading small. I'm just going to trade small. 111 back down to 1. Okay. Set up on S&P right now. Red dot, no red dot prior. 41 seconds left. Let's see if this is going to work for us. We're gonna wait and see if the setup works for us on this one. Waiting to see if I can get the setup. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sell. And we're done. See how fast that was? Boom, boom. Perfect timing, perfect clip. Money in the bank. All right, let's go over here. No setups. We're starting to unwind. He's just being a little. He's focusing much more on inflation rather than on growth. He seems to be satisfied with growth because employment numbers continue to resolve. So he's very adamant. It's a big FU to Trump right now. So the market doesn't like it. Starting to sell off. which, by the way, is interesting because we can really see this right now. We're still positive bid, but we could very quickly start to sell below the 500. We could start losing Nasdaq very, very quickly. I'll get rid of the. No, I want to get rid of the execution labels, so it's not so crowded. Anybody take the S&P trade with me? Anybody got the S&P trade done? Obi-Wan took it. So it's like Steve Roy took it. Yeah, it was all good. By the way, much faster on the delivery, right? I'm no longer like half an hour late on the restream, right? We're back to StreamYard. Yeah, NQ hit target, but then NQ wasn't a trade. There was no trade in NQ, guys. I know you guys did it because there were dots, but remember the trade was this to this, which was like early already. Let's see what S&P is. S&P is still putzing around. Look at that drop in the S&P. It's 6 to, wow, that was a big-ass drop in the S&P. We timed it perfectly here. Oh, she's asking about the renovations. He's talking about the Fed renovation, which nobody really cares about. Looking like we're going to start dropping, guys, because it basically feels like it's a big FU press conference. So now we got to watch and see. We're clearly going to go towards the 400. There's no trades for us as far as our setup, but if you guys are directionally oriented, pretty confident we're going to go down. The big question is, are we going to find a little bit of support here, or are we going to start really dumping it? Do we turn negative by 0.5% to 1%? I don't think it's at all unreasonable to turn negative here. So now they're saying to him, listen, inflation has not risen in a year. How come you haven't moved? He goes, well, because of seasonality adjustments. He's always making an excuse for why he hasn't moved to the downside, and that's basically the message to the market is that he's not gonna relent just yet. So it's interesting. So he says now there's embedded inflation because of tariffs. So therefore, they have to be even more cautious. You know what's interesting? I'm really curious. I bet bonds. I'm actually curious. Wait, I don't have bonds on here. Let's take a look at bonds. Yeah. No. Yields are up. Yields are up. Interesting. All right, watching. Let's watch the S&P. S&P looks a little weaker than the NAS. It's kind of interesting. Let's watch this. We got 26 seconds left. A sell signal in the S&P. Red dot, red slope, red candle. If this holds, we got a sell signal in the S&P. 14 seconds left on the clock. Waiting for this thing to close before we move. In, out, boom, boom, boom. You see that? Boom, boom, boom. Inner, winner, hitter, mitter. Right then and there. 50,000, we're at 51.2 on this. I wish I could have hit the NASDAQ was a trade, but I can only do one trade at a time. So NASDAQ was a trade. If you guys took the NASDAQ trade, that was just money in the bank. The S&P was a very, very quick money in the bank trade. This is the trade that makes us money every hour of every day of every trading week. Red slope, red candle, red dot. The prior candle, no dot. No dot on the prior candle. This is the trigger candle. You get short here, you collect money over here. This is what we do. Let me show you. This is what we do. A little bit of chicken dinner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. So, anybody catch the NASDAQ trade? Booked it. Nice, 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 nice. Sheila, did you trade with me or no? I told you we're starting to really unwind because Powell is just basically, this whole press conference is a big fuck you to Trump. Big hit here. That was nice. A lot more hits. I mean, I could tell direction is much bigger than our scalps, but we scalp. Our job is to find the scalps. Within that structure, we can easily see, big trends develop. So for those of you guys who are big trend traders, be my guest. Go knock them dead. I told you it was going down. I told you it's probably going to go to 400. It looks like it very easily could reach that before we even find any kind of support. I think the market turns like at least 0.5% negative today. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Good job, good job, good job. Good job. Adam got it. KPD got it. Good job. How's everybody on IG? You guys trading with me on IG? Are you just chilling out, watching the stream? Let me know. Let me know what you think. So they're asking about, lower the rates to help housing, and his response is, the best thing we can do for housing is 2% inflation and high employment. See, we're going up to the 400, guys. I told you. If you guys are just directionally short, this is a very easy trade all the way down. We're going to wait patiently, see if there's a bounce back, see if there's a reversal. I don't see a reversal coming in at least until 330. This shit is going to go down another 100 points in NASDAQ before it finds any kind of support. Market doesn't like what he's saying. It's literally he might as well just simply hold his middle finger to the camera. He would save everybody a lot of time. S&P falling. S&P going to go to like 63.50 now. We're taking the directional scalps the best we can, I told you directionally this is pretty obvious. And the cool thing about the indicator is you guys can really see the directional development if you understand how we trade flow too, right? Anybody trading on a much longer time scale? Anybody taking much bigger profits out of this thing, sort of directionally one way to try to hit it? You're really pressing him, and he doesn't want to answer the questions on inflation. So we're down 40 S&P points since you started talking, and about 100, a little bit more than 100 points of NASDAQ. Hello, B. We're just watching the market. Market's selling off hard after Powell basically says no chance he's going to cut rates near time soon. We'll see if he a lot of times he'll just say one word that's the opposite of everything he's been saying for the last 45 minutes, and the market hangs on that word and reverses. We'll see. All right, might have a setup here. Red slope, red candle, red dot. Let's see if there's also one in the S&P. Yes, S&P also has a setup. Minute 27 on the clock. So got a little bit of time here on this. Let's see if the setup is developing. Again, the whole theme today is minimum size. Let's try to be precise, right? Small size because it's Fed. We don't want the volatility in our head. 50 seconds left on the clock. No signal so far. Looks like we're bottoming out a little bit. So let's see. 23 seconds left. Looks like we got a signal in the NAS. We'll stay focused on this. If this stays with the red dot, we're short. If the red dot goes away, no trade. All right, short. Oh, this was so fast we got done. Oh my God, that was really super fast. Sorry guys, I missed the S&P trade. If you guys took the S&P trade, what happened to my thing? Oh, because I know why. Because I'm not showing any of my entries. Trading execution labels. Am I in the wrong count? What happened here? All right, whatever. Oh, yeah, I have a delay on the order. Wow, that's so weird. I sold 69, I bought 68.50. Wow, that was just a very, very weird execution. All right, we'll stay. It's that's another reason you trade small. You get an enormous amount of slippage and very late fills on a lot of these trades. So I clearly got badly filled on this, and just kind of the trade was flat. That should have been a good trade. In the meantime, I missed the S&P trade. The S&P trade would have been fine. So now we wait. We wait. See if a couple of candles consolidate, start making more red dots. That will give us a little more direction, or whether this is it. We just kind of found the bottom for the afternoon. Let's see if we get a turnaround. Oh, I think I know what happened here, guys. I got in at 69. I had the bid in at 65. It went all the way down there, but went back so fast that by the time it triggered my trade, the whole ladder was swept up. And this is the key to understanding FOMC trading. Just because you have the signals doesn't mean they're going to get hit, because the buys and sells are so fast. The ladder is so quick moving, right? You go to the ladder. Let me see. Let me show you the ladder. Right? Look how fast it's moving. It's moving so fast that from the time you put in the order to the time your limit comes in, you could have 10 points worth of movement. So that's why we're trading so small. The execution can be very, very tricky and not worth it. Having learned this the hard way many times. Good job, Peter. All right, we're flipping around. So one of the interesting things to kind of see about how good the setup is, it's very tempting to just want to see if there's a bounce here, buy the bounce, because everybody does that. It's the stupidest trade in the world. Usually it always reverses on them. The key thing that's keeping us even from considering this is that the slope of the moving average is ridiculously negative. It's still super negative. Hasn't even begun to turn green. Until it turns green, we don't even consider any long trades. And that's a very, very good indicator that keeps you out of trouble, out of a lot of stupid trades. There's a lot of guys trying to buy this trade right now. They're going to get stopped out as it drops to the bottom if it works. If it goes V-shaped, good for them, but that's a 1 out of 10 trade. They're getting lucky. Most of the time, they're gonna get killed. The cool thing about our indicator is that it just keeps you really on the right side of the trade. Okay. Powell says it was one of the better meetings he can recall from everybody giving their policy views. I was right about NQ going to 400. Yes, I can smell it. I can smell it with my indicator. I can smell it with everything. You can really see it. Dots start popping down. And if you're a momentum trader, you could have totally milked this whole trade to the downside. I called it. I told you, if you guys are directionally minded, this was an easy short. It was an easy short to call. Slope's still negative, still red. Same thing on the S&P. Slope's still red. You got no trades. We can just sit here nice and casually, see if the next couple of candles we find a bottom, or whether this is just a V-shaped retrace. Oh my God, are they done torturing him? They're still talking to him. You're asking him, listen, final demand was really weak, housing was weak. Why the fuck are you not cutting rates? He's not answering the question. He's like, it's going to be a total picture. I'm not going to give you numbers or ranges to work off of, blah, blah, blah. All right, we're turning around a little bit. Starting to make a little bit of a V-shaped move here, guys. No trade for us, but we have to stay patient. Obviously, green dots on a nice V-shaped move. You could have, if you were again directionally minded, could have had a nice setup. Just not a setup for us. We just stay patiently, wait for our numbers to come through. I do not train people one-on-one, B, but you can come hang out with me in coaching, which we have private coaching every Thursday, and I give you lots of time. Do you trade? Do you trade futures? We're going to look at all the data. We're going to ignore the data that's telling us to cut rates. We're going to look at all the data. Is the takeaway from Chair Powell today. Oh, it's an interesting question. He's saying, is he going to stay on as a governor after he goes away to the chair? They said no, he's gone. All right, so he's done. Let's see what the market wants to do now. Okay, he's done. The basic press conference was "fuck you, not cutting rates." That was basically it. Let's see what they want to do next. Now, we went positive slope on the trade. Now, let's see what happens. S&P still positive slope. I'm waiting to see if this is the bottom they're going to consolidate, or we're going to start going negative again on the close. Hard to say, honestly. Market didn't like what he said. There was nothing there that was really, really great. But no, sorry, B. I don't have training centers in London. No, I'm sorry. I do everything virtually. I'm sorry about that. Who else is new in the room here? Who's hanging out with us the first time? Come say hello. Be like B. Be friendly. All right, we're waiting to see if the green slope holds, or are we going to start selling back down? Watching both S&P and NAS. I told you S&P is weaker, man. If I'm going to bet on what's going to fall harder, the S&P for some reason today is really, really weak. So let's see what happens. Slope goes from green to white, so neutral, possibly red slope. Wow. Not a trade I'm going to take right now, but worth watching here. Does the S&P hold? It looks like it's holding. Nice. All right, they held the bid. So far, the lows, the 63, 65 lows are holding. Let's see. I wouldn't be holding my breath on this, but let's see. So far, they're holding. All right, let's see what NASDAQ wants to do. Again, NAS 1 micro, just trading small size to be precise, right? See if I get a green dot out of this thing. If I get a green dot, we have a perfect combo. We have a green candle, green dot, green slope, and prior candle has no dots. It's interesting. I'm just curious to see what we got. No trade here, so we'll turn our attention. Let me just see. Yeah, no trade for now. Let's go look and see what everybody's talking about. No question further from our goal than employment. Inflation is further from our goal. Trump will be most displeased. No question consumer has slowed watching it closely. Algo's price rate hikes already. Kamala Harris will not run for California governor next year. Did you really think she was? Seriously? 3:48 p.m. Yeah, that's the easiest bet. Okay. All right. Everybody is just commenting on exactly what's happening. Not much to see. Hello from New Zealand. What time is it in New Zealand? Is it like 7 in the morning? Jesus, must be early as fuck, no? All right, we got no trades. We're chilling. So far, we're holding bid here. All right. I mean, we're holding the lows, but again, I'm not holding my breath that this is the lows of the day. We start turning negative, I'm certain we're going to break the lows. I'll be happy to short this thing. But now, we have no setup. We just have no setup, so we're perfectly happy to just hang tight. S&P also. S&P still look at the the positive slope on the S&P. You really need to bring it down hard. It's got to come down to like 75 to drag that slope to be negative. So I have to be patient. All right, where else is everybody from? Who else is hanging out with us the first time? Having a good time. 56 seconds left on the clock. We could have a positive signal. We might have that. Look, green slope, green candle. Do we have a green dot? If we have a green dot, I'll leave this arrow on. If we don't have a green dot, I'll delete it. That's how you're going to know if this is going to be a buy or not, a no trade. 7:20 in the morning in New Zealand, right? It's 2027 over there, right? No, I'm just kidding. 25 seconds left. Still no dot. So this is not a go. Northwest Arkansas. Hello, Trevor. Nice to see you. No trades, guys. No trades. We're just chilling. Just chilling like a villain. No trades. See? The indicator keeps you out of stupidity. I just thought of something. I was like, remove the stupidity, don't beat the liquidity. That's a very ICT comment, right? Even this is not a trade, guys. The other way around. So I'm going to show you. This is interesting. So we're turning negative, right? But here's the thing that's keeping me from trading this thing. Why am I not trading? Let's see if you guys can tell me why I'm not trading this. Why is this not a trade? Why is this not a sell? Even though I got a red dot, red candle, why is this not a sell? What's keeping me from doing my thing? By the way, let's take a look at S&P is actually a sell. S&P is definitely a sell. 1 minute left on the clock for the S&P. Definitely giving us sell vibes. So we're going to hang tight on the S&P. You're going to focus on this. If this is indeed going to stay here, it's going to be a sell. Slope is green. Exactly. Slope. 40 seconds left on the S&P trade. Watching this. Let's see if we can get any continuity. I hate selling into the double bottom, but what the fuck? That's what we live for, right? 25 seconds left. Let's see if this candle holds. $17, $16, $12, $11. $2. Sell. Where am I on the trade here? Which account am I in? 16? I don't even know. We got it done anyways. So that by the time I started looking around where I'm in, the trade got done. It was not going to be a lot of juice. I knew it wasn't going to be a lot of juice. So this is actually a trade, a sell trade here, right? Which I can actually do over here. I'm going to sell it over here. I'm going to sell it over here because I had a little bit of a better fill than the entry fill. Let's see if this works for me. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's a tiny little trade. Again, I'm trading really, really small here because of volatility. No surprise. My target here is 83.25. So I don't know if it's going to make it. Going to make it till we fake it, but we'll see. 83.25 is my target. We can take a look at the ladder and see where I'm at. Where might go last? I'm still a little bit above. This is my entry. I'm a little bit above. I'm trading above. Whatever. It's not going to get done. It looks like I'm going to get stopped out. It looks like we're going to get retraced out. But okay, it's fine. It's small trade. I knew that there was going to be a risk of a double bottom here, and that's pretty much what I'm fighting here. I could get lucky; it could break down, but I knew that was going to be a risk. No, and I get taken out on NAS. So The S&P, which was a much more negative trade, like, you could tell the S&P was just sort of a negative trade, was a better trade to trade to the downside. And I traded that with much bigger size. So that's fine. This one, we just chill out. We just wait and see where the next opportunity is. And the other thing that we do, very much so, really, really good habit, we're just going to rotate to the 19 account. And just basically the next trade that we see that's going to be a signal, we're going to trade in the other account. This way, we're always distributing risk so that you don't have two negative trades in the same account. It's very, very intelligent to do this. And what, if you look at this, what was this? It was just basically volatility, right? So now we're actually getting another possible sell signal in NASDAQ. And if it holds as a red dot, so far not a red dot, but if it holds as a red dot, that's going to be a legitimate sell signal. We're going to go into this trade. $1.23 on the clock. So if this thing holds for another minute at these conditions, that will be a sell for us. Let's see if we can do something with it. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. Time is at 3:30. Things kind of quieted down, right? It was an interesting conference, not because it made a lot of news, but specifically because it was very clear that he wasn't going to accept any argument to the contrary, right? Is there? Do we have Microsoft and Meta today? Interesting. Is it today? Where's earnings calendar? Yeah, Mr. Softy and Meta. Wow, that's big. No, this last year's report. So this is this year today. That's really big. We'll have to see how that works out. That's a big impact on NAS, so we'll watch that. Would I trade 4 accounts for 2 symbols with long and short? I actually am, Ben. If you see, in Wealth Charts, I'm trading 2 accounts on the S&P, and in TradeOvate, I'm trading 2 accounts on NAS. So the answer is yes. Kind of flipping around. For my, when I trade myself, I only trade the NASDAQ primarily. I like just if I'm focusing on one. If I could have done about $500 today. I did about 200. I could have done $500 if I was just focused today on trading, because it was actually very, very easy. There were just so many nice clean signals. Have a signal in S&P right now, going to fresh lows. Let's see if this is going to give me a signal. Okay, we're going to trade the NAS. If I get the signal. NAS is clearly a little bit more bullish than the S&P. Let's see what the S&P wants to do. Also 47 seconds left on there. Now it looks like we're testing a double bottom here. They're probing, see if they want to take it out. I have a feeling if they press it here, they're going to take it to 63.50. 34 seconds left. If this thing holds, we're going to go short. We're going to stay true to our setup. How's the NASDAQ doing? NASDAQ also there. So I'm going to see if I can trade NASDAQ first, S&P second. The biggest problem with trading 2 instruments is you got to flip. You have to have multiple screens. Now, since I'm trading only with 1 screen with you guys, Ben, it's not very productive. But and the setup goes away. There's no setup in NASDAQ, and I imagine there's no setup in the S&P either. Nope, no setup. It kind of looks like we hit the double bottom. Look at that. You could actually use the indicator that we have as a kind of a double bottom finder if you wanted to. Like right now, you have a double bottom. You have a buy dot forming. Do you trade that? If you were a double bottom trader, you could. It's kind of cool. All right. Key announcement, guys. Tomorrow, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to do live trading. I have a very important court date tomorrow. It's like a virtual court date. It starts at 10 o'clock. I think we're not going to be able to trade. So coaching tomorrow, yes, I'm going to send the coaching link, but no live trading tomorrow. My apologies for that. And I won't be around on Monday either. And I won't be around on Tuesday either. It's really, really sucks. So one of the things I'm going to try and do is, honestly, there's nothing I can do. It's August. Everybody's got me booked for stuff, and I got to go see my daughter. My daughter has the lead in Mary Poppins at her camp, so I am obligated to go there. So I'll be there. So unfortunately, no trades tomorrow, but I'll be around on Friday, so we'll definitely trade Friday. So that'll be good. But no trading tomorrow. We will do coaching tomorrow for sure. If you guys want my coaching, go out there, get this deal, and I'll invite you tomorrow into my coaching, which will be a lot of fun. Let's see if we can squeeze out one more trade here. We double bottom. Let's see if we get some buy conditions here. So far, I got nothing. Slopes are all negative, so there's nothing to trade here. Let's see if we can do something on the S&P, on the NAS. Wow, did we? What happened to my trading? Oh, it's just did we just die here? What happened to? It was like, where are the quotes? Oops, what's going on over here? Stop. Go to last. 10, 11. Okay, it was just. I think it was a glitch in the ladder. I didn't think the prices were going to be that low. All right, this is interesting. So double bottom, right? If we get a red dot, that's going to be a great sell for us, because that means they want to run it. They want to run it again. They want to run it to the lows. I think, by the way, Asia is going to be a sell today. Like trading Asia tonight, which I'm probably going to do. I think we're going to test the take out the lows of the New York session, test underneath here in the 300s. This is a pretty big fuck you from Powell. It's just like, it doesn't look like they're gonna cut rates for the rest of the year, and that's just going to make Trump absolutely apeshit. I would not be surprised if he's going to go nuclear and just fire his ass. And that's going to be really, really fun for the markets. That's going to just create more volatility than anybody wants. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting. It's never a dull day with Trump in the White House. We'll see. All right, holding bid so far. Slope is negative, so the only opportunities we have are negative trades. We need at least a couple of candles to really turn the slope positive. How's the S&P? Also, the other thing, I think the market is just kind of, I'm sort of talking out of my ass, because we have Mr. Softy and Meta reporting tonight. Those could have a material impact, because if they blow the numbers out, I think that will solve a lot of pain. If on the other hand, if they kind of miss or they see a slowdown, I have a feeling they might see a slowdown. That's only going to create more pressure to the downside, because if Powell is adamant and the big seven are starting to see a slowdown, it's not going to be good. Trump's fault he nominated him. Yeah, well, when is it? When has it ever mattered? Right? It's not what you did. It's not what I did yesterday. It's what you did for me today. That's how it works, my friend. Oh, do I have a little bit of a red dot here? It's a very, 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 very lame trade here. I got 25 minutes. This could be the last. Well, if I get the signal, maybe we'll do this as our last trade. But man, that's a lame ass signal. Unless we really needed to drop hard, because I feel at this point the market just kind of died. it consolidated around the 400 level and just doesn't want to move anywhere. I think probably because everybody is just simply very even book until the earnings come out. There's actually probably going to be a lot of nice volatility at 415 or so to trade it. So if you guys stick around, you might be able to catch some nice moves there. What's going on, man? This is a very, very quiet move. All right, I'm going to give it like 5 more minutes. If we have no signals, then we're going to wrap it up. We had a pretty good, all the winners in the S&P. S&P were just nice and clean winners. I took them all. That was a really nice move here. One account had nice winners, and in NASDAQ, the other one, aided a little bit, but only on single micro stops. So it was just nothing. That's something we can make back in one trade. But overall, the idea of just looking for setups, separating by account, separating by risk really makes great sense. Everything slowly but surely rises every day. That's what we're trying to do. All right, minute 2. We're really slow down. I have a feeling probably not. You know what? It's probably not a good time to trade right now because the market is just totally flat ahead of Mag 7 earnings, and all the volatility will happen afterwards. So let's wrap it up, guys. It's been a pretty good day. We had a nice morning. Morning was all winners today. With afternoon was pretty good winners on the S&P. Setup works like a charm, even on kind of crappy days like this. I mean, how many FOMC days have we had where it's just been a complete disaster? The very fact that it's not been a disaster is a real testament to how good the setup is. Otherwise, I won't see you tomorrow, but I will see you guys on Friday. So watch for that. And those of you who are in my coaching, I will send everybody the coaching link later today. Okay? Everybody enjoy. I'll see you guys a little bit later. Everybody on Insta, I hope you guys really enjoyed it. I will stream on Friday if you want to come join me. Take care, guys. Everybody enjoy. Bye-bye.